Hi coaches, this is Sarah Griffith. Today I wanted to take some time to explain to you the new Elite and Premier Goal Guide so that I can help you get to these goals. A lot of you have told me now that you are pushing for either Elite, Premier, or the New Leader Conference. So I felt like it was really important that you truly understood what each category meant. So the first thing that you need to do, if you haven't already done so, is in the back office, I need you to search for the Elite and Premier Goal Guide, and I need you to print this out. This is going to be something that you use for the next 12 months or whenever you start tracking, depending on what month it is when you watch this. But regardless, this document is really important. I'm going to come back to the top part where it says my road to elite. So I will talk about this in a few more minutes, but before that, I wanted to go down through each category and make sure that you truly understood what it meant. For me, as a coach, I'm 5 years into the business almost, and this report always seemed very confusing to me before I really dug in and set out to try to achieve a leader premier. And so I wanted to make sure that I spelled it out for you so that you could feel like this was a doable goal, but also so that you knew what you needed to be focusing on as a leader. I think that's a struggle sometimes for some of you is you want this goal, but you don't actually know how to do it. So my job is to teach you how, but then to also teach you how to duplicate it. I want you to learn this document like the back of your hand so that when you recruit a coach who says, I want to go elite, you can then show them exactly how they do that. So this document is your guide and it's your tracking system to get you there. So there are there's 4 categories. No, just 3. I think of it as 4, but anyways, there's 3 categories that really matter. And the first one calculates in your coaches that you have signed during 2018 or during 2019. So it's kind of like a 2-year window. And I know that some of you have only been coaching now for 1 year. Some of you have been coaching for several years now. And so you have coaches who no longer count for this category. And while it's still important for those coaches of yours to hit Success Club, they will not get you points anymore. They'll still get you volume. But they should be to the point in their business where Success Club is non-negotiable and they're hitting it every month. Beachbody really wants to make sure that those who you are bringing in are having success. So that's why they will award you points in this category. So what you do to track this is basically I have a whiteboard in my office, and on my whiteboard it has the names of all the coaches who are on the board, whether it's 2 points or 10 points, who count from 2018 and 2019. I like to keep them in like a group thread, to be honest with you. So if you're not already utilizing that, I would probably put them in a group thread so that you can, coach them along throughout the month. But it is your job to make sure that they do not end the month at 2 or 4. You will not get points for it. There is nothing worse than having a coach who has 4 points on the board, knowing that they were 1 challenge pack away from getting that, that elite premier point. So what you want to do, again, is you want to strive to make sure that your 18-19 coaches are hitting Success Club. So down here is your little tracking section where you can track the number of coaches you have that hit Success Club. Now, Beachbody will award you double those points if you hit Success Club too. So obviously it's really important that you're hitting Success Club. However, I know that if you're pushing for Elite or Premier, Success Club is non-negotiable. You will not hit it at all because you have to hit it because you can't be elite and premier if you're not hitting Success Club. So top priority obviously is your own Success Club points, but knowing that you're gonna double this category by you hitting should be even more motivation. So that's what category 1 is. It's PS coaches in Success Club. You will max out here. You'll max out at 50 and you have to have a minimum of 30. This is where some coaches struggle, is getting that minimum. They're not getting enough coaches to hit Success Club. So that's why helping your coaches get started right is super important, and having a strong training system is also really critical so that you can continue to move your numbers beyond 30. Category 2 is called New Acquisition Personal Volume. So they call it APV. It also has a max out category and a minimum category, and same thing. It's 50 max, 30 min. So how do you get points in this category? This category is actually one of the easiest categories to get points in. So you get a point for every 500 PV in total from your purchases made by your 2019 coaches and your customers who placed their first order in 2019. Now, it's really important that you recruit hard in the first quarter of the year. You will see a lot of coaches really lean into recruitment in January, February, March, because any coach who's signed up counts for as long as they're signed up. So for example, if I'm heavy on recruiting in January and then they stay with me as a discount coach the whole way to July, I'm going to be getting their PV as, their coach PV for several months. That's going to be adding into that pot that's going to bring me those points. So again, recruitment right now in the beginning of the year is super critical. Still critical here, but you're going to see more bang for your buck the earlier you sign people up. Same with hitting high Success Club numbers in the beginning of the year. Also really important, okay? Because the more people you help, the more new customers you have, the more PV you're going to have, or the APV. So that's how that category works. So basically you just, you're putting it down here, you're calculating what their total monthly PV is, and then that's how you figure out the points that you're going to get. So pretty simple. It's a simple math problem. Now, if you go to category 3, this is a fun one that Beachbody added in last year. This is totally aligned with helping your new coaches hit Success Club. So they are going to hook you up. And they are going to give you 1 point for every new 2019 coach who earns their first Success Club point in the first month that they enroll or the month after in 2019. So that is why it's so critical to say to your brand new coaches right off the bat, okay, you need to make a list of 10, 20, 30 people that you want in your first challenge group. Let me help you invite them. You need to say to them, okay, do you have a friend or family who can join you? Do you have a spouse who wants to sign up? And you get them started right off the bat, because that's going to get you one of these new PS coach leadership points. So really easy to do, but a lot of people don't take advantage of it, and they let their new coaches just like meander around at the beginning. You've got to come out the gate hard. Like as soon as they start, you need to start mentoring them. So that's how this works. As far as this goes. Now what's cool about this is you can kind of double dip. So say you sign a new coach and they hit Success Club 6, not only are you going to get a point in this category because they sold their first challenge pack, but if you go up to the first category, they're going to count here too because they were in Success Club. So again, getting them started right, really important. Now, I'm going to come down here and show you this little worksheet, okay? So again, up here with this one, you've got to have a minimum of 5. So it's super low, but it's still hard to do if you're not signing coaches who are going to work the business. So here's how you categorize it all and you add it all up. Now, in order to be elite, you need 105 of these points, and you need to have 75 points to be premier. So up here at the top, they broke it down for us to make this goal seem more feasible. Because it's easy to be like, oh, 105 of these points, how am I ever going to do this? So what they did is they built us a roadmap. They said, okay, you're going to cross off these benchmarks. And as you do, we're going to recognize you along the way. So they have a little trophy for you, and they will help you basically build this trophy from team builder the whole way to elite leader, and you get to build onto your trophy. It's kind of cool. You've probably seen it in some of the Beachbody pages, but basically they're just saying like, here's what you need to do, because that's what so many of you are missing. You don't know what to do. So for example, for some of you, this is where you're going to start. You're going to try to knock team builder off the list. To do that, you have to advance 1 new Emerald coach. You have to have 25 leadership development points, and you have to be a paid Diamond coach. In addition, you need to have 1,000 team volume on your weak leg for 5 weeks total. Okay, so that means that in your back office, you guys need to be tracking your week leg volume. So you need to know what is it at the end of each week. And after 5-week period, if your number has exceeded 1,000, you get to check that box. So that's done. Okay, so that's how you pull off Team Builder. Now, some of you are going to be simultaneously doing 2 categories at once. Okay, so for example, if you're already a 1-star, and you're going to hold it for that 6-week period, because we know that to be a 1-star, 2-star, 5-star, it's got to be you have to hold for those 6 weeks of qualification no matter what. So you can check the box. So you're going to be a 1-star. You're going to have to earn 50 leadership development points, and you're going to have to advance. Now you're going to have to advance 2 new emeralds or a diamond. And then your week leg volume has to be 2,500 plus in team volume in that 5-week period. Okay, so again, they're just showing you, like, here's what you got to do next. Here's what you got to do here. So like right here, to be premier, you need to advance 1 new diamond. It used to always be 2, so that's a little bit easier. The points are less too. Okay, so 75 leadership development points. You got to be 2-star for 6 weeks or more, and your team volume has to be 5,000 or higher. Premier has now become easier to accomplish, and I know that some of you are pushing for that, so it's definitely possible. Elite still requires 5-star plus, still requires the 105 leadership points, and it still requires the 2 new diamonds for the year. Your week leg volume has to be 5,000 plus. So that is exactly how you do this. And again, like I said, some of you are going to cross off boxes in both categories at once. But that's the roadmap. That's what it looks like. Now, some of you have mentioned that you're trying to go to the New Leader Conference, which is awesome. Like, I want to see as many of you there as possible. But in order to get to the New Leader Conference, you have to be a paid 1-star for 6 weeks. Okay, so that's step 1 for some of you, is getting to diamond, but then getting to 1-star and holding it. You cannot have your diamond drop rank during that 6-week period. Otherwise, your 6 weeks start over. So you're going to have to be a paid 1-star at some point during this year. Now, some of you are shooting to have your hotel room paid for. I hope that is your goal. I don't want to see you have to go to this conference and pay for your hotel room. And so that's why, even if Elite or Premier isn't your goal, if you're going to the New Leader Conference in LA, you don't want to pay for your room. So that means that you do have to pay attention to this sheet, because in order to get your room paid for, you need 25 points from these categories. It doesn't have to be in a set 1, it's just 25 total. So you've got to start paying attention to that and tracking it. And most all of you right now at this point in the game I've been watching already are going to have points on this worksheet. So it's time to pay attention, it's time to start tracking, and it's time to get on your way towards making these huge goals happen. If you have questions about this, please reach out. I'm happy to explain more, and there's lots of other training videos in the Beachbody libraries, but I just really need you to understand this worksheet. So print it off, get started, and get ready to fill it in as we end out month 1 of 2019.